All right, so we finna talk about these stocks. I got not a lot. I got a couple of stocks in my portfolio. Walmart being one of them, and I'm waiting for it to pop back up. There we go. So I got a mouse now, y'all, so I could maneuver my screen easily. Show y'all my charting skills or whatever like that. But I want to show y'all a chart pattern that's very easily noticeable. It's extremely profitable, and it occurs over and over and over in any financial market. If you look at any asset, if you want to trade any asset, any stock, it don't matter. You're going to see this chart pattern pop up over and over and over again. So the chart pattern is what you see here, and I'm going to show you some other stocks in my portfolio that also has this chart pattern showing up at the same time. But before I show y'all, though, I want to show you what it's looking like here. Hold on, let me flip this around real quick. It's like my little mouse keyboard. Cool. So let me show y'all up here. So a bullish engulfing pattern is this right here. This is when you have a red candle. Typically, it's a small candle or a basing candle. And followed by that candle, you have a green bullish candle that's typically long enough or big enough to engulf the previous red candle. Hence why it's called bullish engulfing, because this candle right here engulfs the previous candle. See what I'm saying? So typically, after you have a bullish engulfing pattern, you have continuation to the upside because this is bullish, right? So bullish means up. Typically, we'll have some continuation going up to the upside. So now this doesn't happen every single time, but the probabilities of it happening is higher than it not happening. And so that's why, as a trader, investor, long-term investor, swing trader, whatever you want to be, you can capitalize off this because the probabilities are in your favor. All you have to do is be in a psychological state or position and a financial position to take advantage of it. So a couple of stocks in my portfolio, after leaving demand imbalances, have formed this same pattern, right? Same exact pattern. Dang, bless me, thank you. So I got me a mouse, y'all. Now I got to get me like a little mouse pad or whatever for it to hover. But here we have bullish engulfing. If I go on, I'm trying to find other stocks that have it as well, that we've been in, that I'm in now. Hood. Yes. Hood also has bullish engulfing. So as you can see, that candlestick is engulfing the previous candlestick. It opened, low, and then it closed very high, engulfing the previous red candle. So I can assume as an investor that I'm going to see some kind of continuation. And this is good for me because I'm on a weekly chart. So if I'm on a weekly chart and each candlestick represents 1 week, if I go and look at what it's telling me it does, typically after, then that means in the next coming weeks, it's looking good for me in my portfolio. Or anybody who got in where these supply and demand, or these demand imbalances are, right? So, and mind you, I took the same exact setup that I always take, a pull back into a demand zone. This demand zone formed in the past. We already know what a demand zone is. A demand zone is simply a price area on the chart where there are more buying orders than selling orders. And so once the stock or any asset returns back into that zone, the probabilities of it going in the direction of the imbalance, being that, the demand or supply, demand going up, supply going down, we can kind of predict where the market will head after it bounces out of the zone. You see what I'm saying? So my portfolio should be looking good. I mean, this is how you turn money into more money, following price imbalances. So on a daily time frame, we got a little stuff going on. Apple down today, but it's up. It gapped up relative to where it was last week because it hit a monthly demand zone. You see what I'm saying? So this is looking good right here. Halfway through the month, this is looking real good. On a weekly time frame, clean bounce. These would have been great swing trades as far as buying option contracts that expire a couple weeks out. Also here on NVIDIA, I'm also in NVIDIA too. This is also in my portfolio. We got a bullish engulfing pattern. That candle right here engulfs the previous red candle. And I just showed y'all what happens typically after we get a bullish engulfing. I'm going to show y'all a bullish engulfing in the past. Look at this right here, bullish engulfing. So as you can see, after this bullish engulfing pattern got put in, we went higher. All right? So regardless of what news come out, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of what the president say, price always exceeds news. I learned that from my mentors. Price always exceeds news. That means that whatever you see on the charts, them technicals, that technicals come first, because human behavior and human psychology repeats itself. You know what I'm saying? So these stocks had recovered and bounced after Trump had said whatever he said, after he announced something with semiconductors and Apple and whatever. These stocks had already bounced off demand zone. So if you had waited till the news came out to try to buy or get in, like, oh yeah, they said this was gonna happen, so let me try to buy the stock now, you late. Now granted, you can still make money, but that ain't nothing that you can repeat, So